Hiroshima, Nagasaki. These two cities were the unfortunate victims of Little Boy and Fat Man, the first nuclear and plutonium bombs ever used in warfare. The use of these bombs has been attributed to the end of hostilities between Japan and the Allies in World War II. However, World War II did not have to end this way. In this video, I'll discuss Operation Downfall, the proposed invasion of Japan. But first, a little background. Since the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the U.S. had developed the island hopping strategy, which helped it reach the Japanese home islands as quickly as possible. The U.S. had faced fierce resistance from the Japanese as they made their way closer and closer to the home islands. The last major American battle of the war, the Battle of Okinawa, was a grim foreshadowing of what was to come if the U.S. attempted to take the Japanese mainland. The Americans bore nearly 50,000 casualties, whereas 110,000 Japanese soldiers lost their lives on the island. By June of 1945, the European theater was over, and American plans were eager to end the war as quickly as possible. The U.S. Navy favored bombing cities and blockading Japan to bring the threat of the Japanese. They even proposed the capture of air bases in China and Korea to give the U.S. Air Force more bases to carry out their attacks. However, this strategy did not work, as the Air Force carried out many operations to devastate Japanese cities like Tokyo, but Japan showed no sign of giving up. The U.S. Army, on the other hand, argued that an invasion of the home islands would be the only thing that would bring an end to the war. Noticing that the strategy of carpet bombing did not work, the Army strategy would be carried out. The operation, nicknamed Operation Downfall, would be carried out in two phases. The first phase of Operation Downfall would be Operation Olympic, an invasion of Kyushu, which was scheduled for November 1st of 1945. The operation called for the largest Allied naval armada ever assembled, bigger than the fleet assembled for D-Day. The armada would be comprised of 400 destroyers, 24 battleships, and a staggering 42 aircraft carriers. To put these numbers into perspective, the U.S. Navy, the largest navy in the world, only has 11 aircraft carriers as of 2018, a fraction of the number of aircraft carriers that have taken part in Operation Olympic. Olympic's objective was to seize the lower portion of Kyushu, to be used as a further staging point to attack Honshu in Operation Coronet. The second phase of Operation Downfall would be Operation Coronet, an invasion of the main Japanese home island of Honshu, including an assault on the imperial capital of Tokyo. The operation was scheduled for March 1st of 1946 and would involve 25 divisions, an equivalent of at least 250,000 soldiers. The veteran First Army under General Corny H. Hodges redeployed to the Pacific from the battlefields of Europe, would invade at Kujokuri Beach on the Bosa Peninsula, the one being pointed at with a purple arrow, whereas the U.S. 8th Army under General Eichelberger will make a western attack to seize the beachheads at the top of Sagami Bay, the one being pointed at with the blue arrow. Both armies will drive north and meet at the Empire's capital. That was a lot. Well, now you might be wondering why I said. Basically, the U.S. plan was to take Kyushu, the lower portion of it, to use as a base to launch Operation Coronet. Coronet was the last phase of the war, where Allied forces would seize the main island of Honshu alongside cities like Tokyo and Yokohama. The estimated casualties of such an operation are truly horrific. Depending on the degree of Japanese resistance, estimates ran into millions of Allied casualties and tens of millions of Japanese. It's likely the war would have lasted years longer if the invasion would have taken place. What is Mother Russia, my comrades may be asking? Well, the Soviets weren't really part of the Allied invasion of Japan, mainly because of the Allied attempt to hold back communism. Unknown to the Allies, the Russians were planning to launch an invasion of Hokkaido from the newly conquered Hiro Island. If the invasion would have taken place It would have prompted the Allies to act quickly to prevent Soviet expansion into Japan. However, this didn't occur since the Japanese agreed to surrender on August 15th. Yeah, I know it looks bad. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and Allied leaders were willing to do anything to bring the war to a swift end. In an attempt to reduce Allied casualties, American leaders considered the use of chemical and nuclear weapons. Military leaders made plans for a massive, preemptive poison attack on Japan, on cities like Tokyo, Kobe, Kyoto, Yokohama, and many other cities. Such an attack on such a dense population would leave millions of Japanese dead. Perhaps the strangest tactic the Americans were going to employ was the use of nuclear weapons. Colonel Lyle E. Seaman saw tactical use for nuclear weapons. He believed that dropping nukes on defending forces shortly before American troops hit the beach would reduce Allied casualties. In hindsight, we know if this plan was to be carried out, a considerable amount of American soldiers would be exposed to radiation. During this period of time, nuclear weapons and the risk of fallout were not well understood. Nuclear weapons were considered to be just another weapon in America's arsenal. On August 6th and 9th, the U.S. unleashed the new weapon on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, ultimately leading to the Japanese surrendering on August 15th, making the invasion unnecessary. Although the nuclear bomb took and ruined the lives of many, it saved tens of millions of lives from the up-and-coming invasion. It's ironic if you think about it. If you'd like to know anything more about Operation Downfall, there are links in the description. If you would like to join my lonely Discord, there's a link in the description. And if you'd like to get video ideas, just comment below. If you've enjoyed this video, found it educational or entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe. This has been I Don't Know History.